Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Quick disclaimer, this is a reread for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame as we prepare for the book Onyx Storm. Spoilers ahead.
Imagine, he's like, listen, because of my ability being so handy for teaching people, I don't often get to go into combat. But imagine he did. He's just shooting projections up in the night sky. And what is it? It's 1,000 dragons floating through the sky, scaring the shit out of all those griffins.
I don't think many people have that much power abilities. I know, you're giving everyone Terran size.
Okay, well, you know
power.
what? He just projects Terran in the night sky. That'd be fucking scary. I don't know. I think this could be a lot of fun. Imagine, oh my God, sexy times.
We're not going into
Just
this
wait a
professor
minute.
sex life.
Look, Professor, he's been banging Professor De Vera, right, on the side.
Ooh, this is the drama we need.
Help. How did he get her into it? He sent her a nude, but just in front of everybody. He's like, and this is my penis, ma'am. And he just eye blasts a picture of his penis right in front of her. She can't look away. Everywhere she looks, there it is, just waggling in front of her.
Stop. We learned.
She's like a deer in the penis lights. Just, oh my God.
I'm gonna push you along.
This is my favorite thing.
That's why I wanted to see what your thoughts were on the scene.
They weren't as good as yours. They're never as good as yours. Oh, man.
Dragon breeds are very particular on how to be approached.
It's weird that all the breeds have the same preference. I find that to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little racist. That it's like all of the orange ones are like this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, why are we doing this? He's like, red dragons are something. And then he's like, orange dragons are the least predictable. They're also very dumb. And then he's like, blue dragons are very cunning. Sigale's the biggest, baddest one. They're also very mean. If you see one, run away. He's like, how do you approach black dragons? Don't approach a black dragon. You cross the street if you see a black dragon coming at you. And you're like, oh, why? Why are we propagating this nonsense? It's just another dragon. A black dragon could be president if he wanted to be. Thanks, Obama. Fucking dragon racists. Okay, I'm done now. Back to your imagination.
No more. Ugh. What was the reason for the fewer dragons bonding every year? Do you remember what this was?
Racist riders. Now I'm done. They don't know, but there were 27 fewer last year than there are this year. Something like that.
They don't know right now, but I thought we found out by the time we got to Iron Flame. Do you remember what the reason was?
Oh, I think it was because the decision was split as to whether or not they support Navarre. I think that was kind of the idea.
Oh, that was right.
We did learn about, and I didn't catch this about Sigale the first time, is Sigale does not conform to dragon law. Sigale lives her own life. She's like, she doesn't follow anybody's rules. She's a bad motherfucker. But they don't bring up, she's like, also she's humping Terran. Maybe reverse. We don't know.
They don't know her relationship.
What?
But
it's not a new relationship, though. When the other guy was with Terran, right? Nail.
When Terran had his other rider, I don't think Sigale had a rider.
Yeah, but they still had to fuck, right?
Just like every...
For 3 days. Oh, the 3 days was more of a Violet Xaden thing. Not really.
Yeah.
But in order for them to have passed that off as a real thing, it had to have been the case before as well.
They're not the primary relationship, so I don't think we're going to get these
That's my
details.
favorite relationship in this book, in this series.
Completely agree.
I want another book, but it's mostly Terran and Sigale.
Yeah.
And then Darna, I guess. And we could have Coda. I got Coda questions coming out of the ass. I haven't learned enough about him.
I would love just a Terran and Sigale spinoff series.
You know what kind of tail Sigale has?
I have it written down somewhere, I think. Dagger tail. Yeah.
You know what tail Coda is?
No.
He's a sword tail.
Oh, Terran is a morning star.
Yeah. Which one is the most badass tail?
Morning star.
So that's what I thought too. That's it. I realized it sounded like I had more to say. I'm just like, I also think it is, but I think it's just because I love Taryn.
And on the topic of Sigale, she is a rare even for a blue dragon. So blue dragons aren't near as rare, but she is for a blue dragon.
They're rare. Blue dragons are like the second rarest dragon.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we first learn about her bonding Xaden, and that's where you said she doesn't follow the rules or any of these things because she bonded to Xaden, who is a relative to a previous rider of hers.
An ancestor, yeah. This is the way I think they worded it.
Yeah, they said a relative and didn't say the relation, but I'm pretty sure it's his grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're kind of left with, or uncle or some shit.
Yeah, and I think when it was all accepted and approved early on, they were playing it off. I can't remember the future.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think they get a choice whether or not to approve it.
They think they can. Oh, I have the note. They talk about Taryn also, and I have a dash, hear me out on Taryn.
You're right. All right, I don't blame you. I get it. I'm a bit of a Sigale stan myself. I get it.
Lost his rider during the uprising. Died saving Brennan.
Died not saving Brennan, according to the story.
Yeah.
And it gave me kind of an Eminem moment, right?
How so?
Rap god. So the guy's like, listen, bonding a dragon makes you a rider, right? He's like, reviving a rider makes you a god.
And that's why you can't do that.
Yeah, because Malik doesn't agree with that.
Do you think gods in this world are walking among them?
No.
Is it a long distant folklore-like thing?
I think so, but I think what could be difficult is the way their records are kept and the way that information is disseminated among them is so controlled, especially in this group. I don't know what you would have for gods in another place, right? With deities maybe worshipped elsewhere. But for Navarre and Poromil, I think is the greater.
There are just fan theories out there that Malik is someone that you can interact with. Like he plays a role rather than they send their prayers, they do this thing, that he's going to do something or has done something and going to come up later. And that's why I was just curious if you think that we will actually get an interaction with Malik.
I don't, but I would be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm under the impression that we won't. So they're in class. They're talking about the dragons. This is when she gets a prickle on the top of her head. I keep calling these spidey senses. And she looks at Xaden. She's all Twitter-pated. He smirks and raises an eyebrow. And I see that as he's reading her and what she's feeling towards him.
Yeah, why are his emotions on his face? Like, if that is the case, why? Why do it? Just keep looking straight ahead and drink it in. Don't fuck this up with your face changing. You know what I mean?
He's not fucking anything up.
He can't. He's too pretty to fuck it up. But
Exactly.
But why react in any way?
Because he likes it.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't have to react. You just play it cool, man.
He also cocks his head. He'll like raise his eyebrow and turn his head like a puppy.
He raises his eyebrow and turns his cock. He really is the shadow wielder. Yeah, this is the thing. The way I'm excited to see who they pick for this person, because their jaw's going to be flexing. Their head's going to be cocking.
We haven't
Their
seen...
cock's going to be flexing. Their eyebrows are going to be raising. Slight smirk. You know, the way that their face will sort of contort into a smile. Like, it's not... It always sounds so subtle. And I think that that's purposeful. I'm excited to see somebody do it, because I think it can be done.
I don't think it's going to be done. They just need a handsome man.
You would think it wasn't enough to save The Witcher.
Oh, yeah. But that's because you went from one handsome man to a slightly less handsome man.
Superman didn't get the rest of the movies.
All right.
Sorry. It might take more than that.
Violet begins her first challenge. Oren pukes, and she takes his dagger.
Oren doesn't just puke. This is the funniest part to me.
Projectile.
And he's still beats her up a bit. Like, she's still semi getting her ass kicked in these fights while these people are this sick. And she's like, at least they didn't land a clean punch, but I was limping. She's like, some girl got this kick to my ribs, and then she about took my knees out before she finally succumbed to illness.
And that's where this note is that I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy. So, fight 1, Oren pukes, takes his dagger. Next week, wins from mushrooms. Week later after that, from Xena root, numb legs. Week even later, blurry eyes, leaves and tea. 5th week win, tree bark, sluggish and sweaty. 6th week, timing wrong. Now Xaden, prickle on her scalp.
Yeah, so she gets more prickles, right? Spidey senses are coming in hot. But can you imagine being an observer? So her buddy Rhiannon, right, is always there watching these fights. Rhiannon's not cluing into the fact that these people have all been poisoned just before the match.
She has to be, but she's definitely the type of friend that just is going to look the other way.
Okay, the instructor who's calling all these matches, keeping an eye on things.
He's managing too many matches that he hasn't paid attention.
Dain, a rule follower, any one of the people who's watching these matches, nobody's like, isn't it weird that every time Violet fights somebody, they are moments from needing the infirmary before they get in the ring? Like,
she got an entire squad sick or something like that to play it off that way.
Isn't it crazy though? Like, can we just acknowledge that it is, you would be nervous. Okay, in the NFL, let's just take this.
Oh, we're going.
Just bear with me.
I can validate your feelings. It is completely crazy.
Okay.
You are right.
Okay, I was just going to say, because anytime the Patriots won a Super Bowl, everybody cried and was like, the balls. Look at the way he gripped it. It was deflated by 3 bounds. Like, how the fuck is nobody else that's watching these fights being like, that dude doesn't look well? She's like, he looks just sick enough for me to beat. Awesome. And then she almost murders him because he's busy throwing up. Where she's like, I said yield, and he can't say I yield the second time because he's still throwing up. She's like, I have to move my knife so I don't accidentally slit his throat. And I'm like, maybe accidentally slit his throat. Like, let him out of his misery. What are you going to do, poison him again next time? Just fuck it. Come on. I love it. I'm beaten up on it. I thoroughly enjoy it.
It is very suspicious. The only one who figured it out was Xaden.
He's got a scribe mind.
Chapter 9. I love this chapter.
No.
What?
Satan-centric chapter where he sort of dry humps her.
So I love this chapter, but I love it even more when you listen to it from a bystander's perspective of
just
what's going on.
The whole situation.
Yeah, like everyone who's there just watching, because nobody else is fighting during all of this, because they're all told, everybody watch a master at work, Xaden, and going against Violet.
Yeah. Also, why is Violet the one? Come watch a master at work. He can even beat our great champion. Violet Sorengale?
Undefeated.
She's not undefeated. She lost her first round to a regular-sized Rudy woman with pink hair, and since then, dominated the field. Xaden walks up, and they're like, this is going to be a good fight. He doesn't look queasy at all.
His legs are working.
I love it so much. This was a fun chapter.
Yeah, overall, no matter what perspective you take, it's a fun chapter.
But it's an awkward chapter if you're a bystander, because you can tell he's just like, it's softcore foreplay.
Yeah, there's no way others don't see how seductive this is.
How long, too, they have conversations during this where he's just holding her and they're just whispering back and forth.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean? Like, I know why he's whispering, so they can't hear us. And I'm like, what?
But I'm just picturing that he's on top of her, right? And he's just down by her ear, just whispering for just a few seconds. Everyone would notice
just
that.
Nibbling on her earlobe a little bit. While she's like,
But there's no way that she's like struggling to the point that he has to like hold her in a spot long enough to say a whole sentence. And
he's like, I'll hit you in the rear naked choke. I'm going to call you Violet Sore and Tail when I'm done. Well, this is... okay. So at one point, this is the point where he's just holding on to her, right? In like a semi kind of chokehold. And they're upright. They're standing. And she's like, I want to whip my head back into him, but it just hit him in the chest and piss him off.
That's exactly one of the scenes that I was describing where she's just like, oh no, I hit his bicep. It wasn't this one, but I hit his chest. And it tells you their height difference, which...
She's like
that's
5'2", but you and I are the same height difference, right?
Yeah, and I like that.
Like, if she's 5'4", you and me are a foot different. You're 5'4". If I had you in a chokehold, is your first thought, I'm going to whip my head back?
No, that would expose my neck.
Okay, thank you. This is sort of my point is like, it just seemed like a convenient way to be like, his chest is so muscular. She's like, I'd whip my head back, but he'd catch me in his pecs. Like,
his titties are so big and muscular, I just bounce between them.
He's just percolating back and forth, just launching it, just ping-pong at her head. Ping, 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 ping. Even his nipples are sharp like razor blades. Careful. Just, it's so fucking funny. And I love the whole idea of, I don't need weapons. You brought enough for all of us. Well, you did.
This is the moment when he gives them to Imogen, and she feels jealous in this moment. If she feels jealous of the moment of Imogen receiving that moment that they're talking, I'm surprised she's not more giddy for this fight, other than she's a little scared. I don't know. Okay, she is a little giddy.
No, I think she's a little dumb. Just a little, though. Because she has so many moments of recognizing her attraction. And then she's like, but I'm going to show him that I am a boss. You shouldn't. Where is this confidence coming from? You just got told he's like one of the best fighters ever. You had to drug mediocre fighters this whole time and barely scathed by with them all doped up. Now you hear this guy's in the prime of his life. He's incredible at this. And you're like, I'm going to show him I'm not that easy to murder. Dude, you are. You are very easy to murder. That's why you have to keep drugging these other people. Like, they're not even this guy. But the way he does it is awesome. Other than the part where he's like on top of her and she's like, and he's pelvic thrusting into me.
Okay, yeah, he's pinned her hips to the ground with her legs around him, is what that moment was. They're definitely in a sexual position, and she's just like helpless and can't get out. And this is when he whispers in her ear, and he has her like pinned down. And I'm just like, everyone's just watching him whisper in her ear.
He's just like, I'm going in violence. And he just gets her. I think it's really fun.
I also loved that during this, he's taking all of her daggers, but he's kicking them to Dain, which is so ice cold.
Yeah, and his message at the end for Dain, awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, quit babying
like,
her.
hey, enough coddling and more teaching. And I think that's a great note. I think this argument could be made for a lot of different situations. It could have been also just like, hey man, I don't want to step on your dick here, but there's a lot of rumors going around about you two. If you are fucking, time to bring some knives into the bedroom. She could use some training. Also, she's not very sneaky. For somebody who's very small and lightweight, oh, and she keeps talking about how she's so fast, and she is.
With daggers, yeah.
Well, no, just her agility.
Yeah.
So in the first chapter, do you remember what percentile she was in?
For what? Running?
Her agility, her speed and agility.
No.
She was in the like top 25 percentile.
Okay.
She keeps acting like that's an advantage against everybody. You're not the fastest or most agile. You're just like, if there are 4 people in a room, the odds are you're the fastest. If there are 8, there's probably at least one person in there as fast as you. This room's got like 50 people in it. There's a lot of you there that are quick and agile. Why would you think that you are agile enough to beat Xaden Riorson? Like, he caught your knives the other night. You threw them and he caught them.
And that's when he's using his power, the intrinsic power, because the one time that she does get him is when she says, I decided to just don't even think about it and just go. And that showed me how unskilled he really is.
You're talking about when he's on his heels.
Yeah.
No, we disagree on this. Go ahead.
Okay, my take is he's always using his intrinsic power to his advantage in fighting. she decides to quit thinking and just act. She sweeps his knees, knocks him down, and that shows me that he's actually not that skilled of a fighter if he didn't have his intrinsic power.
So I think he did this intentionally, so she would do that, and then he could show her how she's still vulnerable, even if they're both on the ground. And I say this because I don't know a lot about mixed martial arts or jujitsu, whatever it is they're doing, right? But in boxing, you're not on your heels. You're on the balls of your feet, right? Constantly, because that's how you're hypermobile. Your heels do not allow you to move around freely, and you're always off balance if you're on your heels. I think he intentionally shifted his weight to his heels to see if she would even think to sweep, right? So she sweeps, and he is immediately, even then, in an advantageous position, right, with her. The minute he hits the floor, boom, he's already back, and he's got her in a rear naked, or whatever he's doing.
Even sexier because this is her last dagger, and their hands are interlocked on this last dagger as he shows her how to kill someone. And
he's like, stab here, stab here, stab here. He's like, everybody hates being stabbed in the penis. Like, and that's why I think it was just a trap. I think the idea was to teach her something. And the best way to teach her how to fight from the ground position is to allow her to get him there.
In this exact scene, in this exact type of fight, is how she wins her assassination fight later. Was her being pinned to the ground in the same way, and she stabs him in his, like, back kidney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's where I think this was more of a lesson, because he couldn't be like, here, I'm going to lay on the ground. You get on the ground. Let me teach you something. The whole idea of this was like, it's an exhibition. How's this going to go? And then he's like, oh, I sure hope nobody knocks me over. Just toes pointing toward the air. He's just walking around on his heels.
Your take is probably right. I thought it was she quit thinking, so he was completely unprepared for what she was going to do.
There's what I love about your take is it really points to the most effective Violet can be in a fight is when she's just a little dumb.
No.
Right. You're like, she shut off her brain and turned up the attitude. She's got this fight. Like, oh, wonderful.
So she is so turned on right now. Their hands are interlocked on the dagger. His eyes darken in this scene also. I think when they're done.
I believe I asked you to write this down.
What does it mean for your eyes to darken?
I don't know. And I want to know so badly. Like, does he just put shadows over him like a Batman mask? He's like, raccoon mode. God.
What if it's his pupils just widen?
To what? His eyes are black.
Okay. Yeah, that's
what color are his pupils most of the time? Maybe his
Okay.
pupils are gold.
No, it's the gold flecks. All right. Yeah, no, I don't know what it means that they darken other than the pupils open up some more, but his eyes are already black, so...
He squints and the shadow from his eyelashes darkens him. I don't know. They go full Vanta black.
Dain is massaging her after this fight. They're back in the room.
What's she wearing, baby?
He calls him her bestie.
Friend zoned.
And she wants more.
Yeah,
He's
but
literally massaging her.
I don't know if you remember high school. I do.
You never did anything like that to me, did you? While I was in a relationship? Ryan.
Wait, hold on now. Let's not be throwing stones at me.
Ryan.
I wasn't in that relationship. I was in a different one. No. Did we not do this sort of thing? You and I never back rubs or anything?
No, I think that was another girl.
Nah, it probably just didn't ever happen.
Okay.
It's one of those stories that never happened.
Or just...
I saw it in a movie once.
Right.
With my sister.
We learn about dragons and that...
Dinosaurs. We learn about dinosaurs.
And that they are in their heads thinking, this is our first time learning this. And Dain is still trying to get Violet out. Not working. And during this moment, I wrote this one down. This is the fight that I told you I was ready to have with you on this with Dain. He is trying to convince her to leave. He talked to one of the professors. No.
What's the other one then?
Malcolm is like the ultimate leader of all of this.
Okay, then what's the other one that I said?
Maybe Markham.
Markham, yes. Markham's the head of the scribes.
Okay. He talks to a professor about taking her in, He's like, yep, please go, Violet, please go. He cradles her cheeks, both palms on her face, and she pulls away as his reasoning is tugging her towards what he is suggesting.
I took it as her butt cheeks.
You did not.
Cradles her cheeks.
You did not.
She's like, I want to listen to him. And he's squeezing a little.
No, but I think later we learn she will force memories to the front of her mind when he was using his power on her. I wonder if he can do something similar, pull memories of hers or pull things in as a form of suggestions.
Yeah. Listen, I don't have a fight for you on this one. This could 100% be the case. I think you're probably right because he was touching both sides of her face. I thought it had to be temples, but I also believe we could be being
He has
too.
Such big hands that his hands on her cheeks, tops of his fingertips reach her temples.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't take that long hands. Now that I'm looking at your face, I think I can scratch the center of your head from your cheeks.
Oh my God.
I'm not joking. Bring your booty over here. Let me see. You get salad fingers just straight up the back.
Well, I was fully prepared for you to be like, nope,
Really?
nope, that's not happening yet.
Oh, no. I am 100% on board with that.
We don't know if he can use his power to suggest things to people, but that's what I got from
I
the
think
scene.
he was touching my cheeks because I also was kind of going with his reasoning in this, where he's just like, Violet, I'm not trying to dismiss you. I'm super proud of where you came from here and how great you're doing, but I'd really like to not watch you get hunted. And I was like, you know what? Valid. If you were like, I'm joining the Hunger Games and all of the people that hate you the most in real life were going to be there, but you're like, yeah, but I've survived up till now in the world with these people. I would still be like, yeah, listen, if they happen to, any one of these people happens to get a dragon before you, they're coming to cook your ass. Like, no, we're not watching that. And you're like, you don't believe in me? I'd be like, listen, I do believe in you. I just also don't completely not believe in the other people with agendas. Like, I think a lot of you are very motivated. But yeah, again, at this point, I do like that she doesn't listen to Dain. And I think Dain, as we know, turns into a bit more of a dick.
When you said that Dain isn't wrong necessarily in his reasoning, his motives, and all of that, if he is using his power on her in this scene, this would be the first time that he crosses the boundary and it's just done.
I would agree. If he's using his power, he's 100% wrong, right? To be doing that. And whatever it is he's doing, his methodology is flawed, very flawed. I'm trying to think of a more extreme way to say that, but he is wrong. But his rationale behind it here, I was just wondering, like, fuck, man. Yeah. Why? Like, I get why you're there, and I know you don't want to be brought back, but he also went through the whole process of like, hey, I talked to upper management. They said they'll keep it a secret for a year. Your mom won't know until after you're already scribed. I don't know. It seems like it's not selfish. It seems like he is legitimately doing it. Like, I would like to see you survive. And by whatever means that takes, this is a route. And I like that he was like, just promise me you'll think about it. He didn't force her into it.
Yeah. As far as we know, he wasn't using any unnatural tactic.
Well, we're never led to believe that he has the ability to imprint a memory. We are only told that he has the ability to view recent memories, not to erase them or alter them, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, obviously it's still an insane invasion of privacy if he is doing that, but I can't see where that would have been advantageous to him in this, because it wouldn't be her reliving those memories. It would be him being aware of a recent memory.
Yeah. I don't know. Chapter 10 is all about the gauntlet. Many people online compare this to the Wipeout challenge.
100%. It's MXC.
Yeah.
And which is pre-Wipeout. I'm just old.
I'm such a Witcher fan. This also happens for Ciri in The Witcher.
Yes. It's a tale as old as time. Yeah. Obstacle courses. Turns out they're a thing.
One of the funniest things with Witcher, though, is you are the older, wiser, more experienced character compared to Ciri, where she's going through it. She's training and training, and then you get a turn, and obviously you suck at it too, and you just kind of like, oh yeah, no, it's no big deal. You know, these things just kind of get you. You just keep practicing.
It's a Mario movie. Do you remember when Peach is teaching Mario how to not be a loser?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
If we have a 9-year-old audience member, go
Get
the
out
fuck to
there.
bed. Stop listening to this. Tell an adult what you've been doing.
Tynan is in her squad.
He's a teeny tiny man. He's a tiny man. Tynan.
I had to Google how to write his name. I couldn't figure it
I would have
out.
just wrote Tynan.
Tynan is Barlow's friend, squad mate to Violet, and he points out that there are time trials for the gauntlet, and that is one of the reasons that Violet should be out, that she is a liability to the team and their well-being, being slow, small, sleeping with the leadership, all these things.
To be fair, again, all valid points.
They are all valid
If they
points.
were
And she's
true,
just
it's all
like,
valid.
she's like, none of this is valid. No, they're all valid.
I like this Sawyer defends her.
Yeah,
Because
so we had
Sawyer's
Sawyer
defense is so good.
does amazing, but he was also passed last year. This is his second time going through.
Mm-hmm. He just, listen, take any dragon or the dragon that's right for you. I think Sawyer is arguably one of my favorite characters. Like, he's, I don't know, I think he's just such an earnest character, and this would be really hard. Basically repeating the grade because a dragon, either you didn't approach one that would accept you, or none of the dragons accepted him for whatever reason.
Yeah, and to still go through all of it again is incredible. I would be
Did they
so
make you just keep redoing it, was my question with this.
I can't remember.
Like, is it an option at a certain point? You know what I mean?
I think it was an option.
Like, it must be, because they only have 100 dragons, but they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids that have, teenagers, whatever, young people who have showed up to do this, right? Thousands initially, and then Parapet weeds out a bunch, and there's, I would say at least half of these people aren't going to end up with a dragon.
Yeah, many of them don't.
There ends up being 102 dragons.
And that becomes a point later and coming after Violet even more because she's with Taryn.
And she gets 2.
Yeah.
People are like, some people didn't even get 1. And she's like, I got 2. I got the biggest one and the littlest one. I got Russian doll dragons.
Violet makes it as far as I think she needs to. We don't know how well she did on time. She struggles with the chimney part, is how she
So-
describes it.
Do you know what that part would be as far as the wipeout course?
No.
So Ninja Warrior is what I related this to, and not Wipeout, but same. The vertical wall, it's got a little slope to it, and then it's like a half pipe for skateboards.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's what I relate this to. She's like, I'm not tall enough to make it up there and grab the ledge and pull myself up.
Yeah.
Short people do struggle with the half pipe thing.
Could you imagine people bringing knives onto the show so they can climb up
It's
that?
a very different show. Because the people on the sidelines watching people do it are just like, I don't want this one up there, and just knife throwing at them. New obstacles. Why are they timing it other than they're like the order in which everybody walks out?
That's what it's about.
But that's it.
Yes, I think so. So if you were the slowest group, you go out last, which is a sign of weakness.
Wouldn't it just be easier to specifically run the gauntlet and then you're just walking from there straight to where the dragons are?
We have learned Bezgaia does not care about anyone's lives.
Well, I don't even mean
all
for the lives. I
competition.
mean, you wouldn't need a timer. It would just be a natural thing for, hey, these people made it through first, right? Like, this group made it through first, they're going. This group made it next, they're already on their way. You just make it a flow of traffic, so to speak.
I think the dragons don't want that.
Oh, okay.
They want the best first.
That would be the best. The people would still have to make it through there the fastest. But they went straight from the gauntlet to threshing. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I think it's the dragons who are choosing. They're the assholes.
They're like, get out a stopwatch.
Yeah. I can't. My thumbs are too big.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to be fair, at this point too, is it sundials? It's a mage watch. It's fine.
Yeah, there aren't really any electronics until they whip out the stopwatch.
Why is it still a base 10 system also, right?
You would bring that up, wouldn't
Isn't
you?
it interesting?
I never even realized it was a base 10. Where'd you even realize it was a base 10?
Because she's counting everything as though it would go like 9, 10, 11, 12 in that sense, versus it being like a base, 60 system like Mesopotamian times or no.
Fascinating. No, I didn't pick up any of this. I don't understand any of that.
Do you know why it's thought that we still use a base 10 system?
Why?
10 fingers. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Easier to count things that way when you're first learning. That's the idea. But it's not the most efficient system.
Well, I don't know how to switch into the next part of base 10
Mesopotamian
versus
math, next episode.
orally doesn't make it.
Okay. And I was sad, but I could not stop giggling at the name orally. Was it Celtic?
I don't know.
Okay. A lot of this seems to be kind of Celtic.
Maybe.
Okay, best guy. I think I'm not going to Google this because I don't want to spoil some. Well, I can't. I know both of these books. I can Google this. I bet you there's some like Celtic or Scottish Irish language stuff going on in this.
The
way everything sounds.
So cool if you look that up. But anyways, I was struggling with figuring out how to spell her name. And we have both books, and I just didn't want to figure out what page it was on. And I mean, I knew I should have known.
Like, it's chapter 10. I could skim it. Nah.
No. I'm just going to struggle with Google.
It was really sad because she was so stoked.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. Did she just get distracted by the dragon?
I think so. I think it also rumbles when the dragon went by. Like, rumbles
like
and shakes.
Engine? Like it was like a...
Yeah. Yeah, very distracting, very difficult, especially when it comes to timing. It was sad. You just watch her die.
Yeah.
There's no way that they get the bodies off of a cliff.
So she's going down to collect boots.
They're just...
I stand by this. I think Violet's down there just picking the bodies over at night.
No.
She's like, off to get my poisons and my spare boots. I was bummed out by this one. But also it kind of made sense because I thought it was a little fucked up how Orly was so excited, knowing lots of people were going to die. She's like, my dad used to set this up. My dad's a retired rider, blah, 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 blah.
So you think she's definitely going to make it?
No. Like, you would...
They did it to us with Dylan, too. When I re-listened to that before...
Yeah, because they talked about his life plan and then immediately eliminated his life. You're like, okay, anybody planning for tomorrow is not going to make it.
His last words, see you on the other side. Slips and falls.
Yeah. And we're like, I don't think we're supposed to follow him. But Orly was a sad one because she was giving Violet advice. And
her parents didn't come get her.
No. Well, she was a disappointment.
Because she died.
Well, I mean, this is the one thing they trained her for. She couldn't even do this? Get her out of here.
Yeah, so her parents didn't get her. So Violet burns her items.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find really nice and touching.
I would agree.
Nobody else
It's the first death that really hit Violet, though.
I think they're all hitting her. This one was even harder.
I think it's the first one that is making a lasting psychological effect, I think.
Yeah.
A particular death. I think death in general is doing it leading up to this.
Did you catch what they burn their stuff in?
A cauldron?
It's like a barrel.
Oh.
Like a huge dumpster-like thing that's just on fire.
A burn barrel.
Yeah.
It probably reduces forest fires.
It was just so cold.
Oh, it's a pit, isn't it? A burn pit or something?
Kind of. It's on a roof. So she heads to the roof to burn stuff.
Yeah.
And she just lifts something up above her head and dumps the backpack in there.
I imagine it's kind of like a ceremonial shoot.
It was just a sad scene.
Okay, here's a dumb question. Where do they think this stuff goes to Malik? Or is it just the souls go to Malik and then the stuff goes to the god of hoarding your shit?
I don't know.
Like, I find it so odd.
It's
very wasteful for a place without industrial manufacturing.
I don't know much about what is Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
What do you mean, what is it? It's a book.
Like...
Which mythology?
Yeah.
Greek.
In the TV show, they explain this one part, which was really neat as far as Greek mythology, that they would burn stuff as a way for the gods to smell it and to please them and to get them to listen and all of this stuff. Like, you follow these things and you burn these items to get the gods' attention to say your prayer and whatnot.
It's the idea behind sacrifices.
Yeah, and that's how I see this. It's what you're burning is a smell to the gods that will get their attention.
Like, there was rubber in this. It smells terrible.
But it also has a lot of sentimental value.
To the people who are burning it.
So that's what I'm assuming.
I see what you mean. Their sentiment is of a smell because they're the ones burning it. It's less about the material being burned, more of the feelings.
After she burns the items, she starts leaving to go back downstairs. I don't quite know where everything is. Anyways, she hides in the shadows. I took the note because I thought it was Xaden hiding her because she hides deeper in the shadows and whatnot as Xaden, Garrick, and Bodhi show up. I don't think he knew she was there yet, even though she's in the shadows. I think she's genuinely just hiding in the shadows and that they don't know that she's there. Because as they're talking, that's when she gets the pinpricks on her head, the spidey senses, and Xaden stops mid-sentence when she gets the tingles. So I don't think that he knew that she was there yet, that she was genuinely hiding in the shadows because he's walking through, they're talking, Xaden stops right at the time that she gets her spidey sense. And that's when he stops the conversation, sends them on their way.
Interesting. All right.
That's my hot take.
No, I'll go with it.
But as they're talking, this is when he cocks his head, and I see it as like a puppy face, just like a, interesting thoughts. What's going on? Like a dog hearing a unique sound.
I feel like I do that to you a lot. I just realized I tried to slowly straighten my head. Because when you brought up that last point, I was like, yeah, he does do dog stuff.
Oh my God.
Doggy style.
No, I just made a note of it because it's another sign that he's using his other signet.
I do see where you're going with this.
We also learn about what he smells like. He smells like mint and leather, citrus and floral.
Can you describe to me anything that smells like that combination of things?
Nothing. They seem very different.
Does it sound like it smells good to you?
Not
I can see leather and floral. Mint?
I think the mint is he brushed his teeth. Leather from what he's wearing.
We've never heard of anybody at all brushing their teeth in anything.
I'm assuming that's why he smells like mint and citrus and floral. His cologne is citrus and floral. His breath is mint. His body is leather.
He's a leather man. Yeah, when I think of these smells together, the citrus thing cracks me up because it has become a dead giveaway in the books that we've read so far. That's the guy who she's going to fall in love with.
The man that smells like citrus.
Yeah. Rub an orange under your face, man. You'll get the girl. The leather, I assume because they're all wearing leather.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's whatever. I get it. Mint and citrus is not a good thing together.
Yeah, because after you brush your teeth and you drink orange juice, it's the worst.
Yeah, and this is where when those two things were described, I'm like, you find this man attractive, right? Like, why? No. That's all I had. No.
I don't think that he actually likes her yet, based off of this scene.
I think he does. In this scene specifically is where I think he develops some appreciation for her.
Appreciation. Yeah. But I don't think he's actually falling for her or... You know what? No. I think he might be. It's just...
He's as unreasonably horny as she is.
He has to be.
Well, yeah, obviously. He must be. He likes his women like he likes his drinks and conversation plain. And a little bitter for no reason, really. So during this is where she throws the daggers, right?
No, I don't think so.
Or is that before? That was at the tree before.
Yeah, this is when they're talking about her surviving and that she feels like running away. And he's like, same. And she's like, sarcastic ass, when he was actually being honest with her.
He's like, no, I do. I also fucking hate this place. Turns out our death college sucks. Like,
it sucks.
I got the dragon. That's all I was really here for, guys. You know the meme? Yeah, like, I feel like you're here for the zip line. I feel like that's everybody for the dragons. I feel like you're just here for the dragons. Like, what are you talking about? I'm going flying. Like, any kick out of it.
So we agree that he has feelings for her at this point.
Yeah.
Something.
I think he's at minimum, I think he's attracted to her. Also, he's like, she's always in shadows. She's always lurking. Like, also at a certain point, he's got to be a little creeped out.
That she's always there.
She's always there. Like, imagine every time you turn around, there's just some guy just breathing behind you. You'd be like, excuse me.
If the roles were reversed, we would be terrified.
Yeah, we'd be like, please tell an instructor, this man is going to murder you. Which currently she does believe.
Yeah, she still thinks this.
But she's like, just shit or get off the pot. Murder me or don't. And he's like, why are you in such a rush? Like, we can take our time.
They talk about her chances of living and how she has hope.
Do you know how you can tell Xaden actually has a crush on her? I wanted to bring this up during the wrestling match thing, right?
Oh.
So why doesn't he take her last dagger?
So she's not left defenseless?
Why doesn't he want her defenseless? He says, defenseless women have never been my type.
Oh my God.
Slides it back in there. If I had notes, that was one that I put in a mental note and I kind of forgot while we were in the middle of that. Anyway, now we're at this one. Yes, we agree. He has feelings for her. Perhaps complicated, perhaps simpler than what we want them to be. But either way, he wants to fuck her.
I love that take. That just never crossed my mind. Putting 2 and 2 together.
You seem so pleased with this.
I am.
You have such a lovely smile. Like, I just like when you're happy. Sorry, side note.
How does he know that she couldn't get up the chimney thing?
The shadows tell him things.
That's what
and
he
also,
said.
I'm willing to bet there were other people there. And they were like, fucking Sorengale can't even make it up the chimney sweep. Or whatever.
Oh, so I thought it was him reading her mind in some way. But he did say it's just intentions of what she's about to do.
Yeah, and I don't think these are state secrets. I think everybody's talking about how, like, fuck, if we can't get Violet over that hill, somebody's got to push her off. Like,
all right. So, yeah, because he blames shadows for his intrinsic signet, but it doesn't make sense that that is how he knows.
No, and I do believe that the shadows are helpful with him knowing things. I don't think it's mutually exclusive.
That makes sense, because they can interact with the world. They can move things. I'm sure there's other things that they can do.
Sign language. They tell him what's going on.
He blames keeping her alive as a way for him to feel better about himself, but encourages her that the right way isn't always the right way.
Yeah, and he basically says there's more than one way to skin a cat. And she's like, I had never considered that there's an alternative to just the right way. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yes, you have. That's why you've been poisoning everybody. Like, you haven't done anything the right way. Stop being this way. And also, I love that she is tutoring Rhiannon, right?
Yep.
I think that's really great. When is she sleeping? Because she's going out every night collecting up shit to poison people with. She gets up extra early in the morning to cook them breakfast and poison them. And then she goes throughout her day. She must be tutoring Rhiannon after school, kind of. But, like, nobody knows where she is when she's not immediately with everybody else. Does that make sense? And nobody's questioning it. They're never like, where is Violet? They're just like, she's probably off fucking Dain. But Dain is such a rule follower. Dain has his own responsibilities, which he is shirking in order to make sure that he's escorting her places, right? So he is breaking some rules for Violet already.
I assume that they have more downtime than we're led to believe for her to do all of these things.
They have a lot, but nobody's keeping tabs on anybody. Like, we went to a boarding school. Was there ever really a time where you had no idea where your roommate was?
I don't know. It's been so long now.
I don't think any of my roommates could have been away for more than an hour, and I wouldn't have known where they were just through the way that everybody moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many people, and there's only so many places to be. You and I one time snuck off somewhere to just have a friendly chat. It wasn't anything crazy, right? Do you remember this?
I don't remember it, but I am confident there was nothing crazy going on because...
There was nothing crazy going on.
You were definitely friend-zoned at that point.
Yeah. I know. I was there. But regardless, we went off to play guitar, play some drums, blah, 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 do some stuff, right?
I do remember this.
Yeah. So you went to play guitar for me and stuff. I was going to play some drums, and then we got distracted because you were very good at the guitar, and I adored listening to you. You did a great job. Point is, everybody knew where the fuck we were. And we were intentionally not seen going places like that. It's just hard for me to imagine. The most famous girl in the first year. And everybody's like, I don't know where she goes. And she goes every night. She's off from this time to this time. Is she with Dain? No, Dain's off doing his hall monitor duties. Like, she's not with Dain. Where's Xaden? I don't know. Well, he's probably with the Riddick and Garrick. Like, I don't know. But it seems like, well, those 4 are unaccounted for. I don't think she'd got away with it.
There aren't many teachers.
No.
There are significantly more students than teachers.
Yeah, and I don't
think that there's enough people. I don't think there's enough people to be keeping an eye out. But as far as cadets gossiping, it doesn't make sense that she's getting away with it.
That's the point I'm making. It's not the teachers that I'm concerned about. It's definitely the other cadets that would be talking. And then I like that when Xaden walks away from this conversation, he's like, hey, you better get the fuck out of here before I tell your wing leader that you're out past curfew. And then she's like, you're my wing leader. And I'm like, well, yes, he knows. That's what made the joke funny. You saying it out loud just ruined it for him. Like,
I thought it was cute.
I think he strode off afterward and he was like, that dummy. That was funny, but then she ruined it.
He did not.
I bet he did. It's okay. Because she was so redeeming in this, too. Like, I liked that she acknowledged that they're out past curfew. She also acknowledged that nobody enforces this bullshit except Dain. Then she's like, and even Dain doesn't do a good job of it. Like, nobody gives a shit what's going on out there. I like that was addressed. Because we see a lot of people out after curfew. While she's off sneaking around, there's a lot of other people out sneaking. And they're all
constantly. When she was sneaking out, she saw all the marked ones out there.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, there's just droves of people outside when they're not supposed to be. And they're all wearing, like, their robes or whatever, right? To be secretive. And I'm like, there's nothing secretive about a person walking around looking as inconspicuous as possible. Makes you very conspicuous. It's the whole ski mask thing, right? Like, if you're a rob a place, don't wear a ski mask. We assume whoever's wearing the ski mask is up to no good.
But there's so many people out there in cloaks that I can't tell who is there.
Yeah, you can't tell who they are, but also, why are there 50 people cloaked outside? Like, oh, it's after curfew. Throw on your cloak. You're fine. You'll blend in with everybody else that's also outside wearing a cloak. At this point, just take off your fucking cloaks. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Clearly. Just Dain.
It just cracks me up at, like, Dain walks by a window and sees most everybody's outside just in a cloak. He's like, well, I'd go out there and raise hell, but
I can't leave. He's like, it's curfew. I can't go out there.
I don't have a cloak. How would I go out there and police them? I love it. You have more notes on chapter 10?
No, that's all I had.
Do you remember any other part of their conversation before we step away from this?
No.
I think it was nice that he was encouraging to Violet while they were out there, right? She's struggling and having a tough time.
I agree.
And the way that he interacted with her, where he's like, hey, I'm not telling you what to do. Just saying, buckle down or leave. It's your deal, but you can handle it. And I thought that was really nice because he does actually believe she can do anything. He doesn't know her very well.
I think that's his personality type because he was doing the same thing for all the first year marked ones.
Other than when they said that I don't think I can make it, they're like, then you're right. Which Violet did not get that same treatment.
She didn't think that she couldn't make it. She was just talking about, okay, maybe she did.
She says, I'm worried that I'm going to die every day and blah, blah, blah. And I wish you just get it over with because if it's not you, it's this. And if it's not this, it's that.
Yeah, but...
And then he's like, but you're tough.
But the guy that said that to him wasn't a cute girl. That's a pretty big difference.
Was he a cute boy? Did Violet see him?
No,
then
it's too dark.
Cute. Violet can see cuteness. She has night vision for cute boys. She's got, predator vision. She's got straight up thermal vision for hotness. She's just like, I can see right through that cloak. That motherfucker's spicy. I don't know. Violet's horniness throws me through a loop every time, and I've missed it so much because it's the most awkward shit while I'm doing other things to just hear this thirsty woman just be like, ooh, his chiseled features, so muscular.
Bumped into his hard, chest.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's like, oh, that man can grow things. How about he grows his penis? And Lily's like, he does. He's like, how much? She is what I thought girls were like. Just constantly horned up. And then Xaden, who is the least horny character, where he's like, I'm not horny. And then he likes to dry humping her a little bit. And she's like, why do I find this attractive? And he's like, why don't you find this attractive? I don't know. It's super rad. I love it.
Oh, that's all I have.
Okay.
Get started on our next chapters.
Yes.
You are my best friend, and this was a lot of fun.
You are my best friend, and I love you.
I love you.
It was a great time. We had fun. Now get out and go live your life.
No, wait. No. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate and love you all. Please follow us here, TikTok or Instagram at Yarros.Podcast.
And then go live your life.
Bye.
Bye. Get out. We're done. This was Daggers and Shadow Daddies. Now it's my time. Toodaloo. It was fun for us. I hope it was fun for you. But that's all we've got. Goodbye. Come back in a few days. We love you.